You know how you hear, don't judge a book by its cover? Yes, true. But, oh man, 1,010 messages, and I'm trying to boil it down where it's all part of it. It's like we have to learn all those silly lessons like that. It's silly because that's one of the simple, easy ones that, well, I was going to say that we learn young, but I guess not all of us do. But there's a million of lessons like that we have to learn and grow into before we get the bigger tests. And on and on we go, right? It is like the chutes and ladders where each level you're starting fresh, right? And so you keep sliding back down, but you're just sliding down to that level again, to the beginning of that level, until you up level, then slide down and up level and slide down, and on and on and on we go. And some people bump down levels, right? When they are like, oh, I can't do it anymore. But something, okay, they keep repeating the same thing, so let me try to spit it out when they say it, because I like how they're phrasing it. It's like, you may think you're ready, but until God says you're ready, you're not ready. Until it's time, it's not time. It's all of these things. It's all of these phrases, and it's all the things that you have heard and everyone has said and you've seen and read. And we can know it, we can comprehend it, we can understand it, we can even experience it. Yet there are many layers and levels it has to integrate and get through until it gets to the heart of you, right? Until it gets to your core. The other thing, I had gone to watch the sunrise this morning, and so there was a jillion messages that came in, but one of the messages before I even crossed over the bridge was something like, there's 1,000,000 fish in the sea, but there's only one of me. And isn't that true? There's only one of each of us. And yet, we're all just fish in the sea. Which, that's 1,000,000 analogies in there, but it's leading to the same one, but a different one of then they were showing. It's like we all innately know we want to get back home, right? We want to get to our core, our essence, our authenticity, our truth, our innermost knowing. And again, those words are elusive until you start to do that work. And so you get the hit that you're getting closer as you do that work, as you up level, as you get deeper within. And it's like what keeps you going, right? And they showed it like, everybody knows this. And it's like they know it to one degree or another, where some people are so far from it that it's like they want it, they desire it, but they don't even know what it is, right? Like it's some people aren't even consciously aware of it at all. They're just bumbling around, but it's in them. They know it. They just are maybe so many lifetimes from actually even understanding that. And so that's when they showed like herds and seas of people who are going into all of these buildings and all of these religions and more or less sacrificing themselves, but they showed it in a good way, like sacrificing themselves to choose me, choose me, choose me, because everybody wants to get to unconditional love. And it's like they have to start somewhere, right? So it's like it's like it was such a good scene. Because it always boils down to no, you have to choose you. You have to choose yourself. And so that means you have to go within. That means you're going to have to start doing that work and unravel all that stuff. And yet many people just want the easy solution, the quick, easy out, and thinking if they pray to outside themselves, they go to church, they go to synagogue, they go to temple, they go to all these things, it's like still seeking outside oneself and not getting it, not hearing it, not understanding it. And again, not bad, because you got to jump off someplace. So it's like the desire, but the idea and the hope is that at some point you're going to pivot. At some point you're going to try different things when you realize, oh, I'm just spending my life seeking outside myself and never getting to know myself, never getting to know unconditional love, never going within to actually build that connection. And so the idea is it doesn't matter where you are, but it's hopefully leading you back to you. But that's what happens is it doesn't. People get stagnant or stuck or start to idolize or praise whatever it is they've fallen into. Whatever, if it's a religion, if it's a philosophy, if it's a program, if it's, we've talked about it in ways where, because I was doing this too, where I was like, kept getting stuck. It was like I was constantly seeking outside myself, trying to learn and understand. And that is part of the process. You do have to learn and understand. You do have to comprehend. And it's like, okay, once you've learned enough, you've learned that you're teachable. It's like you've taught yourself that you can be teachable. You are bendable, moldable, expandable. You have turned your mind into a more pliable plastic where you are like, okay, I can now see, I can now understand, I can now comprehend. Now let me go within and connect directly. Did you hear all that? Oh my. A lot of that's been happening lately, tongue-tied. And so the more we do that, the more we uncover, which is always interesting and fascinating, right? Because you're no longer seeking without, and yet you're getting more than ever by simply going within. And so it's kind of all of that for me anyway. It was very much that process. And the hope and the idea is that people do become more in love with themselves, with their life, with their knowing, their truth, their truest heart's desire, that they really get to know themselves. They really build that connection so that they can really build a connection with unconditional love. Because otherwise, you really don't ever know God. You're only praying to him as if he's something outside of you that will one day come and save you. And it's just not how it works. And well, for me, and how I've experienced it and what I know, that's not how it works. And it's like that hunger, that drive, that desire to connect, for me, had to be so strong, right? It was this forever learning, desiring, yearning to get back home to me, even if I might not have understood it or said it in those words, right? And it's kind of like that stuff starts to shake up more and more. And you start to bump into, it's like the more conscious you become is a good way to maybe say it, the more aware, the more awake, the more present, the more healed, right? Because you've stopped hinging things or looking in the past or going in the past or engaging with others as if they were your past. All these things, then the more aware and conscious you can be to your present moments, in which you can then recognize and hear the signals and open up more and more. And then the more and more you do that, the more you can feel and sense the guidance, and the more you can engage with the guidance, and the more you can then open up to listening yourself, trusting yourself, hearing yourself. And then the more you hear yourself and recognize, all the different voices in your head or who you're dialoguing with, what you're engaging with, all these things, it's like it just all starts to unravel and unfold in such a beautiful, magical way, which is unique to all of us. So that's why I'm trying to give you broad strokes, and yet my broad strokes are still my strokes. In other words, everybody's going to experience it the way they're going to experience it. And don't get tripped up on all the traps like it's because of this person or that person. Right? It's like, no, it's because of you. It's because of your desire to get back home to you, to love you, to reunite with you, that you start to listen to you, and that you start to follow your own guidance and follow your own intuition, follow your own inner knowing, your own heart's desire. You started to choose you over other people's beliefs, other people's bullshit, other people's say-so, other people's direction, and love you so much that you trust you and you choose you, and you're going to do what feels right for you, in spite of what everybody else thinks of you, says about you, projects onto you, desires for you, wants to lead you, steer you, all these things. You have to unravel all that. You have to understand all that. You have to see all that. You have to hear all that. You have to know all that. You have to want to not be led and steered. A lot of people still want to be. I mean, there was a long period of my life where I really wanted that too. I really did want that. And it was also understanding what my real heart's desire was, where it was like, that's actually not what you want. You want peace and ease. You want true partnership and connection. You want unconditional love, which means you want that relationship with yourself. And so you're seeking outside of yourself. But when you give it to yourself and you start to build that with yourself, you start to realize you have it all within, and you stop seeking without. And then everything that you encounter on the out becomes more delicious and magical and wonderful, as long as you stay aligned with you and you don't get confused or delusional thinking that you're feeling any which way because of anything outside of you. All that outside of you is just a reflection of inside of you, and the more you're in love with the inside of you, the more you're in love with all outside of you. And it just becomes this delicious flow. And yet, of course, there's always the tricks and traps and confusion and delusions, and we bump our little heads, and all of this is fine, because it's all a way to strengthen us, to remind us, to bring us back to what our goal was, our truest heart's desire, what we really are looking for, and what that means to us, and where we think we're going to find it, right? Where we think we're going to find that peace, that ease, that calm, that excitement, not anxious or worried or fear, but the excitement, the joy, the peace, the ease, the relaxation within oneself, in one's own body, mind, and soul. And so, oh God, I could talk about it until the end of time, because it has been so incredible for me. And yet I always share it in hopes to encourage you to love yourself that much, to want to discover and know yourself that much, and to know. I think I also share a lot of times the struggle, not to be like, oh my God, you're going to have to struggle. No, it's more like, I think those who really go in and are really brutally honest with themselves to do that kind of shadow work recognize that there are a lot of hard truths and ugly truths that we have to face about ourselves, that we perpetuated problems, right? It always comes back to us. We started, we end it, right? And so it doesn't matter if it's been passed down, doesn't matter if it was projected onto you, doesn't matter any of it. If we picked up the rope, if we absorbed it, if we continued it, if we whatever, we're in charge of it. We took it on. So now you got to eat it, swallow it, and fight those demons. And then move along, right? Because other people will then pick up those demons and want to toss them back onto you. And it's like, that can be hard too, because then it's like, oh, well, now you have to overcome the people pleasing. Now you have to overcome, now you have to overcome the people care that you can't care what they think of you. Oh, you're being a bitch now. Now you don't want to help, or now you're awful. You got to get over all that, right? It's like all these new levels, new devils, new demons you have to face that you didn't realize or recognize, and you didn't learn before. Well, you didn't learn before because you didn't go through those doorways. You didn't up level. You didn't take those steps or measures. You continued to stay down there where you just accepted and allowed. You just did as you were told. You were led on a leash. You just followed the leader, hoping, wishing, and praying. Never choosing you. It's all these things. There's millions of lessons. That's why I love the Bible, because that's what it talks about 24/7. It's all everybody's love story, everybody's battles they went through, all of their internal mental warfare, what it felt like, what it entailed. It talks about, everything you've ever learned from anything since then is the exact same thing replicated in their unique version, right? That's what all this art is, all this philosophy, all these theories, all these architects, all that. Where do you think that all comes from? It's all already written, right? His 12 disciples, the 12 archetypes, all of it, the numbers, all of it, everything is already there, spelled out, explained to us in a million different examples of everybody's love story and what they experienced when they went in and connected with unconditional love, and what they heard and saw and experienced and connected with, and how they went through all of that. And we've all been doing it ever since. And then we've all been sharing in our way. And, a lot of people, I don't know if you remember way back when they were showing me, and they're showing me again now, is a lot of people jump off at the different levels, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? In this lifetime, they only wanted to get to this level or that level, or they only wanted to experience this or that. And so, then they'll go off and doing their art form, their book, their life, in however which way feels best for them from that point, right? Some people want to bust all the way through. Some people, it doesn't matter. it's as long as you're being true and authentic to you, what feels right, and you're choosing to choose. There was something else. They keep flashing it in and out, and I'm not sure what it is they want me to. They're like dancing around a few different things. I feel like it's more of a heavier message that I don't know if they want me to go into. I guess they're still talking about the same thing. So they're showing the different levels of the Bible and how you can hear it all the different vibrations. And they've had me read it at many of the different vibrations. And boy, oh boy, damn, it's like amazing the different layers and levels of understanding in one paragraph, and how you can hear how, this religion was formed or stemmed from that paragraph, right? And how that same paragraph had somebody else believe this, and somebody else believe this, and somebody else believe this, because that was their encounter, that was their engagement, that was their experience with that. And so when they faced that about themselves, or that demon, or that whatever within them, and so it also matters. It matters who's explaining it to you and where you're at when you hear it, right? So if two people are coming from unconditional love and discussing, it's symphony. If there's one person coming from unconditional love and another person coming from the depths of hell, they likely can't even hear one another, or they might loosen up to rise up a little bit. Yet they're going to take away from it very different things, because it is the idea of it's like somebody standing on a stack of books, right? And they put their mouth to the top of the book on the very top level, and somebody's all the way down the bottom. And they shout with all their might inside the book, though, and it has to vibrate all the way down to the bottom of the book to the person standing at the bottom. They're not going to catch likely one single word that person said. They might hear a muffled noise and a vibration, but that's about all they get. And so they're going to have to start climbing up those books and working their way up to the top to get clearer. And as they get up even one book, they're going to hear a little bit better. And they get up another book, they're going to hear a little bit better. And another book, and they're going to hear a little bit better. And as they get higher and higher up, they're like, oh my God, you're not going to believe what I thought you said. You're not even going to believe what I thought you said. I never, ever, 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 ever would have thought that's what you said. I would have never have said that's what you said. And then they continue to get higher, and they're like, oh my God, you're not going to believe. And it's almost comical for unconditional love to be like, no. And it's hysterical to watch his children climbing up these books thinking they know it every time they get on top of a new book. And they're like, oh my God, now I get it. And they're still miles and miles away, right? And so the further we get up the stack, and the closer we get to ourselves, the closer in we get, the clearer it gets, the louder it gets, the crisper it gets. And so, and then you do laugh at yourself at you can't even imagine what I thought that meant or that was saying. It's so far from the truth, but I was certain I knew, right? We do that. We're so certain we know when we think we know, right? And it's like the more you know, then the more you're like, oh my God, I didn't know anything, right? We know nothing. We know nothing. And yet that's what makes it so enjoyable and delicious, because you become more relaxed and more laughing at yourself at how far you had gone, right? Okay. I'm going to go on and on, so. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.